Welcome to TERAFLORA Studio. Here, every broken piece tells a new story, and every crack is an invitation for creativity to bloom. In this space, we celebrate the art of transformation, turning forgotten cups and fragments of porcelain into gardens of life. It is a journey of stillness and imagination, where ordinary objects are reborn with color, texture, and green living beauty. As you listen, I invite you to notice the rhythm of this storytelling. It is not hurried, but gentle, like a stream flowing across stones. Each idea carries inspiration for your hands to follow. You may find joy in painting with bright hues, or calm in shaping clay to cradle a tender seedling. You may even discover that the smallest vessel, cracked and imperfect, can hold a universe of resilience and wonder. This content has been carefully composed with the support of AI technology. It is part of our creative process to bring clarity, consistency, and inspiration directly to you. Yet every word is chosen with care, with the hope that it feels warm, human, and close to your heart. If these stories speak to you, if they make you pause, smile, or imagine your own broken cup becoming a tiny garden, I gently invite you to join our journey. Subscribe to TERAFLORA Studio, so you will always have a place where creativity meets calm, and where beauty grows from the unexpected. So let us begin with open hands and open eyes. Together, we will explore the many ways broken things can live again, whispering quiet lessons of hope, patience, and joy. This is more than craft. This is a reminder that even in small spaces, life always finds a way to bloom. Sometimes beauty reveals itself in the smallest vessels. When a cup breaks, many of us see only loss. Yet in its fracture lies an invitation to create a little world of life. Imagine a forgotten porcelain cup, its handle gone, its rim uneven, yet within those imperfections, a chance to cradle a sprout of green. This is the essence of the tiny living plant cup, to transform fragility into resilience, and to let nature find a home in the places we once considered ruined. The process begins simply. Take a broken teacup, one that might otherwise be thrown away. Instead of discarding it, clean it carefully and give it a new purpose. Fill the base with a few pebbles for drainage, then add a handful of soil rich in texture. Place a cutting of mint, basil, or even a succulent inside. As roots take hold, you'll see how even the smallest spaces can support life. There is poetry in watching a plant thrive within a broken vessel. It whispers a quiet reminder that growth often begins in unexpected places. Tiny cup planters are especially charming in indoor corners. A cracked mug by the windowsill can hold a cascade of ivy. A chipped teacup can host a shy cluster of succulents. They bring freshness into kitchens, work desks, or cozy shelves. Their scale makes them easy to care for. Just a spoonful of water, a touch of sunlight, and the plants flourish. The contrast between delicate china and vibrant green creates a harmony that delights the eye and soothes the spirit. There is also a sense of sustainability woven into this craft. Each cup saved from waste becomes part of a quiet rebellion against disposability. By reimagining the purpose of broken items, we breathe new life into both the object and ourselves. The joy is not only in the finished planter but in the act of making. Molding soil, arranging plants, and witnessing transformation with our own hands. And when guests notice the tiny gardens blooming from once broken cups, they will see more than just decoration. They will sense a story of resilience, of creativity, of finding beauty where none seemed possible. In that moment, your small planter becomes a conversation, a gentle inspiration, and a living reminder that even broken things can hold life beautifully. There is something magical about clay. It bends, shapes, and molds itself into whatever story we wish to tell. When paired with a broken cup, clay becomes more than just material. It becomes a sculptor's brush, breathing character and life into what was once forgotten. Handmade clay accent planters are an invitation to play with imagination, to let your fingertips coax beauty out of fragments. Picture a chipped mug sitting on your work table. At first glance, it is nothing but waste. But then you soften a piece of clay in your hands, rolling it into delicate petals, vines, or perhaps tiny arms and feet. Slowly, you attach them to the cup, turning a simple vessel into a miniature sculpture. What once was plain now tells a story, a cup that smiles, holds, or blossoms with whimsical charm. The process is as soothing as it is creative. Shaping clay is like meditation, a rhythm of pressing, smoothing, and letting form emerge. Clay accents not only cover cracks but celebrate them. A fracture becomes the pathway for a vine, a missing handle replaced by a blooming flower, a chipped edge transformed into a whimsical detail. It is the art of not hiding flaws, but elevating them into features. Once dried and painted, the clay details appear to grow naturally from the ceramic, as though they were always meant to be there. What makes this idea enchanting is its endless adaptability. You can create characters, cups with faces and tiny feet, or go for nature-inspired designs, wrapping the cup with clay leaves and blossoms. Children love them for their playful spirit, while adults admire the artistry. When filled with soil and a small plant, the planter becomes more than decoration. It becomes a living sculpture, part art, part garden. The joy doesn't end with making. Over time, as the plants thrive, the clay decorations gain a patina of life. Tiny traces of water, specks of soil, the occasional leaf brushing against them. The planter evolves, growing alongside the greenery it cradles. It becomes a companion, one that reminds you daily of how creativity can heal and reimagine the ordinary. And when you place your handmade clay accent planter on a shelf or in your garden, it is no longer a broken cup. It is a small monument to transformation, a celebration of imperfections, and a testament to the beauty of crafting with your own two hands. When a cup breaks, its sharp edges can feel like endings. Yet those very fragments hold the key to a new beginning. The mosaic texture planter embraces this philosophy fully. It takes shattered pieces and reassembles them into dazzling patterns, transforming scars into beauty. It is the art of seeing possibility in brokenness, and of crafting radiance where others see only waste. The journey begins with fragments, bits of old ceramic, chipped tiles, or even the very shards of the cup itself. With care, these pieces are pressed onto the cracked surface of a broken cup, one by one, like assembling a puzzle with no rules. Each fragment carries its own color and shine, and together they form a tapestry of light and texture. The act of arranging them is slow, deliberate, and meditative. Every shard becomes a brushstroke in a painting, every edge a note in a song. The result is a planter that glows with character. A once ordinary mug now glitters with shades of blue, red, and green. Sunlight catches the tiny tiles, making them shimmer. Inside, a succulent or herb stretches upward, contrasting the earthy green with the kaleidoscope of its container. What was broken now carries an energy of joy, each crack transformed into a line of art. Beyond aesthetics, mosaic planters also remind us of resilience. They show us that repair is not about erasing damage, but about creating something stronger and more beautiful from it. This is the essence of the Japanese philosophy of kintsugi, though instead of gold, we mend with color, light, and imagination. Practicality also meets creativity in this craft. Mosaics protect the cup, reinforcing fragile areas, making the planter more durable. They also invite personal expression. You can choose a soft pastel palette for a gentle mood, bold jewel tones for vibrancy, or even mirror fragments to reflect light in magical ways. Placed in a home or garden, mosaic planters draw attention not only for their visual charm but for their story. Guests pause to look closer, tracing the patterns, asking questions. And in those conversations, they discover the deeper message, that beauty can grow from brokenness, that what is fractured can still flourish, and that creativity can turn any ending into a bright new beginning. Some crafts carry laughter, memory, and wisdom all at once. Among them, the Gandhi monkey-inspired broken cup planter stands out as a playful reminder that even broken objects can teach us something profound. Imagine 3 chipped cups, lined up on a table, their imperfections softened by creativity. With clay, paint, and a little patience, each one becomes a character. Tiny guardians that echo the age-old message. See no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil. The transformation begins with choosing your cups. Perhaps one has lost its handle, another bears a crack across its surface, and the third is uneven at the rim. Rather than discarding them, you turn them into companions. Using clay, you sculpt small arms, one set covering the eyes, another blocking the ears, and the last resting on the mouth. These simple gestures capture the timeless symbolism of Gandhi's monkeys, giving each planter its own identity. Next comes the joy of painting. A coat of white creates a canvas, then acrylic colors bring expressions to life. Eyes sparkle, smiles appear, and suddenly the cups no longer seem broken. They seem alive. Add a plant to each, and the greenery becomes hair, flowing like playful hairstyles above their painted faces. A succulent crown, a mint tuft, or a leafy cascade each adds personality. Beyond their charm, these planters carry lessons. They remind us to be mindful in our words, our vision, and our listening. To place them on a shelf, by a window, or in the garden is to invite both joy and reflection. Guests will smile at their whimsy, but linger on their meaning. Each planter becomes a conversation piece, sparking laughter while quietly sharing wisdom. The act of creating them is as delightful as the finished result. It is an exercise in imagination, where brokenness is not hidden but celebrated. Children love shaping the clay and painting faces, while adults find satisfaction in the craft's symbolism. It is a project that binds generations, blending play with philosophy. In the end, these character planters are more than recycled cups. They are storytellers, reminding us daily that life is brighter when we hold on to humor, creativity, and kindness, even when things seem fractured. From broken porcelain emerges not waste, but wisdom and joy, sealed forever in clay and color. There is something enchanting about light that glows softly in the dark. It whispers of fireflies, of childhood wonder, of nights filled with quiet magic. When broken cups are given new life with glow-in-the-dark designs, they transform from discarded fragments into luminous companions, tiny lanterns of nature that shine when the world grows dim. The process is surprisingly simple, yet the result feels almost otherworldly. Begin with a chipped or cracked cup, one you would otherwise set aside. Clean it thoroughly, then paint its surface with patterns of your choice using glow-in-the-dark paint. Stars, vines, dots, or even whimsical faces. Each stroke will remain invisible in daylight, but reveal its brilliance at night. As sunlight charges the pigments during the day, they store energy to release later, glowing gently after dusk. When you add a plant inside, the planter becomes alive both day and night. In the morning, leaves stretch toward the light, fresh and green against the decorated surface. At night, the same planter glows softly, surrounding the plant in a halo of luminescence. It feels as though the greenery itself is basking in moonlight, quietly pulsing with life. Placed on a balcony, in a garden, or near a window, glow-in-the-dark planters bring subtle magic to ordinary spaces. Imagine sipping tea at dusk while your little planters light up around you, each one radiating a tender glow. Children are captivated by them, seeing in their shimmer a touch of fairy tale. Adults, too, find comfort in their quiet presence, gentle reminders that light often emerges when least expected. Beyond their beauty, these planters offer practicality. They serve as natural night markers, guiding your steps through a dark balcony or garden. They also spark conversations, for few expect a humble broken cup to glow with such charm. And because the glow paint is water-resistant, the planters are durable, holding their character season after season. There is a poetic truth in their glow, that what is broken can still shine. These planters remind us that even fractured vessels can carry light, offering not just a home for plants but a glow for the spirit. In their soft radiance, we see resilience, creativity, and a little magic, born from what others would throw away. Water has a language of its own. It shimmers, it reflects, it whispers calm into any space it touches. When a broken cup is transformed into a mini water garden, it becomes a small sanctuary, a living pool that holds serenity in its palm. This craft is not only simple to create, but deeply rewarding. An artful way to bring tranquility into your home while honoring the beauty of reuse. Start with a chipped or cracked cup, one sturdy enough to hold water. Clean it well, then line the bottom with smooth pebbles or tiny stones. These create both weight and texture, a foundation for what's to come. Next, add a little clear water, filling the cup just enough to cradle a plant. Lucky bamboo thrives beautifully in this setting, as do floating greens like water lettuce or duckweed. Their roots dangle gently, visible through the water, turning the cup into a window into nature's quiet growth. The effect is mesmerizing. By day, sunlight glints off the water's surface, creating ripples of light across the cup. By night, the reflection of a lamp or candle turns it into a glowing pool. With each glance, you see both the fragility of the broken ceramic and the strength of life growing inside it. What makes these water gardens special is their ease of care. Unlike soil-based planters, they need no messy repotting, only fresh water and occasional trimming. They are perfect for desks, bedside tables, or kitchen counters, bringing a gentle reminder of nature into everyday routines. And because each cup is unique in shape and crack, no two water gardens will ever look the same. There is also a quiet symbolism here. Water fills the fractures of the cup without resistance, reminding us that life flows into broken spaces with grace. The plants, floating and thriving, echo resilience. Together, they create not only decoration but meditation. Small shrines of calm where your eyes can rest and your breath can slow. Guests who see your mini water garden may pause, drawn to its simplicity. They'll smile at the idea of turning a damaged cup into something so serene. And you, too, will feel that joy, that sense of having crafted not just a planter, but a piece of living poetry, where water and green meet in harmony. Some designs invite us to look upward, to see growth reaching higher with each step. The stacked tower broken cup planter is one such creation, an arrangement that turns brokenness into a cascade of life. By balancing cups at playful angles, we create a vertical garden that rises like a sculpture, a dance of plants and porcelain reaching toward the sun. The process begins with selection. Choose a handful of chipped mugs or cracked teacups, different in size and color, yet united by their imperfection. Using strong adhesive or a touch of cement, stack them carefully, each one tilted just enough to hold soil and a small plant. The first cup rests firmly on the ground or a pot base, while the others rise above, leaning as though caught in motion. What seems unstable at first becomes sturdy once the glue sets. A tower of character, ready to bloom. Filling the cups brings the magic to life. Succulents work beautifully in the higher cups, their small roots and compact forms perfect for limited soil. Herbs like thyme, mint, or oregano bring fragrance and a touch of practicality, while cascading plants like ivy or small ferns spill gracefully over the edges. Together, they create a layered effect, each cup contributing to the story of the whole tower. By day, sunlight touches every level differently, bright at the top, dappled at the bottom. By night, the tower casts gentle shadows, its silhouette as whimsical as its purpose. Placed in a garden corner, on a patio, or even indoors by a sunny window, the stacked planter becomes both conversation piece and functional mini-garden. There is joy in its playful imbalance. The tilted cups defy expectation, standing steady despite their brokenness, reminding us that beauty often lies in daring arrangements. Each fracture becomes a chance to angle the cup just right, to allow plants to spill or lean naturally. And as the plants grow, the tower changes, evolving with each new leaf and stem. Guests will pause to admire the sculpture, smiling at the ingenuity of turning old cups into a vertical garden. For you, the maker, the satisfaction is deeper. You have built a tower not from perfection, but from pieces once cast aside. In their union, you find harmony, a living monument to creativity, balance, and the joy of giving broken things a chance to rise again. Color has a way of bringing joy, of turning the ordinary into something extraordinary. When broken cups are painted brightly and sealed with durable finishes, they become more than planters. They become jewels of the garden or home. Each brushstroke transforms cracks into canvas, giving forgotten vessels a second life filled with light and greenery. The process is wonderfully approachable. Begin with a chipped or cracked cup. Clean its surface and, if needed, sand it lightly to prepare it for paint. Choose strong base colors. Enamel or oil-based paints provide durability, while acrylics offer quick drying and easy layering. A single coat of white can serve as a fresh start, a blank page ready for your imagination. From there, you can explore bold florals, whimsical stripes, or even abstract patterns that catch the eye. Once dry, seal your work with a clear varnish or protective finish. This step is essential, for it ensures that the design endures sunlight, water, and the wear of everyday handling. What was once fragile becomes strong, and what was once plain becomes vibrant. Each finished cup planter glows with personality, its surface alive with color. Filled with soil and greenery, these painted planters shine even brighter. A mint green succulent against a cobalt cup, a cascade of ivy over a sunny yellow mug, or herbs sprouting from a red and white striped vessel. Each combination tells a story of balance between art and nature. The plants soften the painted designs, while the designs frame the plants like living artwork. The joy of painted planters extends beyond aesthetics. They are practical, durable, and easy to care for. Indoors, they brighten shelves, workspaces, or kitchen windowsills. Outdoors, they bring cheer to patios and gardens, standing firm against rain and sunlight. Guests cannot help but pause, drawn by the vivid hues, and smile at the thought of a once broken cup now radiating new life. There is a philosophy hidden in the act of painting broken cups. It reminds us that flaws are not endings, but opportunities for renewal. Each layer of paint covers cracks not to hide them, but to celebrate them with color. In every brushstroke, there is resilience. In every sealed planter, there is proof that beauty can be both fragile and strong. And so, with a little paint and imagination, your broken cup becomes a beacon of creativity, bright, durable, and forever alive with the color of possibility. There is a childlike wonder in creating worlds within small spaces. The fairy garden broken cup planter invites us to weave that wonder into something tangible, to take a chipped vessel and fill it with stories of moss, flowers, and tiny enchanted beings. What was once broken becomes a portal, a home for imagination and a garden for the heart. The process begins with vision. Place a cracked cup before you and imagine it not as waste, but as a landscape. Pebbles can become winding pathways, moss transforms into meadows, and a small clay house or figurine turns the planter into a dwelling for unseen visitors. With just a handful of details, the cup blossoms into a miniature garden that feels alive with possibility. Nature provides the foundation. A soft bed of soil, dotted with succulents or tiny ferns, creates greenery. Moss, gathered fresh or bought from a nursery, spreads across the surface like a living carpet. Small flowers add color, mini daisies or violets, their delicate petals glowing against the rustic ceramic. Each element is placed with care, as though you are designing a world in miniature. Then comes the magic of detail. A tiny ladder leaning against the rim, a clay mushroom tucked among the moss, or a small figurine peeking out from behind leaves. These touches transform the planter into a story. Children delight in them, seeing fairies hidden among petals, while adults find comfort in their quiet charm. The garden becomes a little escape, a dream held in the palm of your hand. Fairy garden planters thrive both indoors and outdoors. On a sunny shelf, they brighten mornings. In a shady garden corner, they feel like secrets waiting to be discovered. At night, a tea light placed nearby casts soft shadows, making the scene glow as if fairies truly danced within. Beyond beauty, these planters remind us of imagination's power. They teach us that brokenness can open doors to wonder, that even the smallest cracks can hold vast stories. To create one is to give yourself permission to dream again, to craft not only with soil and stone but with heart. And so, the broken cup is reborn, not as waste but as a fairyland. A tiny, magical world where plants, pebbles, and dreams grow together, waiting to spark joy in every glance. Succulents are nature's quiet gems, compact, resilient, and endlessly diverse in their forms. When placed inside broken cups, they turn fragility into harmony, filling cracks with strength and beauty. The succulent haven planter is more than just a craft. It is a celebration of simplicity, where brokenness becomes the perfect cradle for life that thrives on little. The process begins with the choice of succulents. Their small roots, minimal water needs, and sculptural shapes make them ideal companions for chipped mugs and cracked teacups. A layer of pebbles at the base ensures drainage, while sandy soil gives them the light, airy home they love. Into this foundation, you nestle tiny rosettes of echeveria, the plump leaves of jade, or the spiky silhouette of haworthia. Each one looks as though it was born to sit in the hollow of porcelain. What follows is transformation. A broken rim becomes a stage for cascading tendrils. A missing handle reveals space for a cluster of plants. Instead of hiding the flaws, the succulents highlight them, softening sharp edges with calm, green resilience. Their slow, steady growth mirrors their message. Life does not rush, it endures. Succulent cup planters are wonderfully versatile. Indoors, they brighten work desks, adding freshness to long hours. On windowsills, they bask in the gentle sun, their colors deepening into pinks, reds, or purples. Outdoors, they bring charm to patios and gardens, standing proudly despite the weather. Each cup becomes its own small desert landscape, holding beauty in miniature. Caring for them is as effortless as their design. A light watering once a week, sunlight for part of the day, and they flourish quietly, asking for little but giving much in return. They are the kind of companions that suit both busy hands and thoughtful hearts. And there is symbolism too. Succulents in broken cups remind us that strength can be found in fragility, that growth can thrive even in small spaces. They are living metaphors of endurance, silent teachers of patience and care. When guests notice them, they smile at the unexpected pairing. The delicate crack of porcelain, the bold green of life. They see not just decoration, but a story, that beauty can grow in unlikely places, and that even the simplest acts of creativity can bring nature closer to home. There is a quiet poetry in growing herbs inside the very cups that once held tea. A cracked teacup becomes more than porcelain. It becomes a cradle for life that flavors meals, soothes the spirit, and fills the air with fragrance. The herbal teacup planter is a craft that blends practicality with beauty, turning broken vessels into gardens of taste and aroma. Begin with herbs that you love. Mint thrives easily, sending up fresh green shoots that spread with joy. Basil offers its sweet scent and bright leaves, perfect for summer salads. Rosemary and thyme bring warmth, their woody stems sturdy and fragrant. Each herb carries its own character, and when planted in chipped cups, they create a miniature herb garden ready to serve both kitchen and soul. The preparation is simple. Add a small layer of pebbles to the base of the cup for drainage, then fill with light, well-draining soil. Nestle the herb seedling into the soil, pressing gently around its roots. Place the planter near a sunny window, where morning light can kiss the leaves. With a little water and regular trimming, the herbs will flourish, rewarding you with harvests week after week. What makes these planters enchanting is their intimacy. Imagine reaching for a sprig of mint while brewing your evening tea, plucking fresh basil as you prepare dinner, or brushing rosemary leaves just to release their calming aroma. The act of growing herbs in broken cups turns daily routines into rituals of connection with nature. Beyond their usefulness, they carry symbolic beauty. A cracked teacup, once seen as waste, becomes a giver again, this time of life, nourishment, and comfort. It is as if the cup's story continues, not with hot tea, but with living green. The herbs thrive in the fractures, reminding us that even broken things can serve with purpose. Guests who see them are often charmed. The sight of herbs sprouting from mismatched mugs sparks conversation and admiration. It feels homely yet artistic, practical yet whimsical. And the fragrance drifting through the air turns your kitchen or dining space into a living garden, rich with both flavor and story. In the end, herbal teacup planters are more than DIY projects. They are acts of care, of imagination, of turning small vessels into gardens that nourish both body and heart. From brokenness rises flavor, fragrance, and the simple joy of growing your own herbs where once you only sipped them. There is a rugged beauty in earth itself, in the roughness of clay, the weight of cement, the honesty of texture. When broken cups are transformed with cement and clay, they become rustic planters, bridging fragility with strength. The rustic cement clay broken cup planter is not only a craft but a dialogue between delicate porcelain and sturdy earth, a reminder that opposites can coexist in harmony. The process is simple, though it feels deeply grounding. Begin with a cracked cup, its fractures visible and raw. Prepare a mixture of cement and clay, thick enough to coat the surface but still pliable under your fingers. Spread it across the outside of the cup, letting it cover cracks, edges, and missing handles. You don't need to smooth it perfectly. The charm lies in the unevenness, in the marks of your hands shaping it. Once dry, the planter feels reborn. The thin, fragile porcelain now embraced by a shell of earth. Inside, you add soil and a plant of your choice. Succulents thrive against the rustic finish, their soft greens contrasting the rugged shell. Herbs like rosemary or thyme pair beautifully, their earthy scents matching the planter's raw character. The result is a vessel that feels ancient, as though unearthed from time itself, yet alive with growth. These planters carry a unique aesthetic. Indoors, they bring a rustic, artisanal touch to shelves and windowsills, standing out as handmade treasures. Outdoors, they blend naturally with stones, soil, and wood, appearing as though they belong to the garden itself. Their durability makes them long-lasting, resistant to weather and wear, their cracks sealed not with disguise but with resilience. The symbolism is powerful. The broken cup, once fragile, gains new life not by hiding its weakness but by embracing strength. Cement and clay lend it a sturdiness it never had before, transforming it into a vessel capable of holding life for years to come. It speaks to us of renewal, of the strength found in repair, of beauty carved from imperfection. Guests who notice these rustic planters often lean closer, drawn to the textures, curious about their story. And when they learn that they were once broken cups, their admiration deepens. They see not just a planter, but a testament to creativity's power to reshape the ordinary. In their rough finish and gentle greenery, rustic cement clay planters remind us that beauty is not always polished. It often lies in the raw, the imperfect, the strong embrace of earth and hand. There is joy in giving objects a face, a personality, a spark of life. The animal-inspired broken cup planter does just that, transforming chipped mugs into creatures that smile from the windowsill or watch quietly from the garden. Each crack and missing handle becomes part of a story, reshaped into ears, wings, or paws that turn waste into whimsy. The craft begins with imagination. Take a broken cup and picture what animal it might become. A missing handle could transform into the curve of a cat's back. A chipped rim might serve as the tufted ears of an owl. With clay and paint, you can sculpt tiny details, whiskers, beaks, feathers, or tails. Suddenly, the lifeless cup feels animated, ready to house a plant as though it were hair or feathers sprouting from its head. Painting brings them fully alive. A coat of white sets the stage, then careful strokes add fur, feathers, or patterns. Bright colors give them charm, while simple accents preserve their handmade authenticity. Place a succulent inside, and it becomes a cat with spiky hair. Add trailing ivy, and it looks like an owl with cascading feathers. Even a simple sprig of mint turns into playful ears for a rabbit. Each planter becomes a character in its own right, unique and full of personality. These animal planters do more than decorate. They bring warmth to spaces. In children's rooms, they become companions, gentle reminders of nature's closeness. On kitchen shelves, they spark smiles during daily routines. In gardens, they nestle among flowers, blending art with greenery in a way that feels both magical and grounding. They also carry a message. By turning broken cups into animals, we show that flaws can be playful, that imperfection can spark imagination rather than limit it. What was once useless becomes something that tells stories, invites laughter, and nurtures life. Guests will often pause when they see them, leaning in to notice the little details, amused by the plants doubling as manes, tails, or feathers. And as you care for them, watering gently, watching them grow, you realize that you have crafted not only planters but companions, tiny creatures born of creativity and care. In their playful forms, animal-inspired planters remind us of childhood wonder, of the bond between art and life, of the beauty found in reimagining the broken into something full of spirit. Seasons have their own colors, their own moods, their own quiet beauty. When we paint broken cups with seasonal themes, we invite the rhythm of the year into our homes. A chipped mug becomes more than a vessel. It becomes a canvas where spring blossoms, summer shines, autumn glows, and winter whispers. The seasonal theme planter turns fragility into celebration, carrying the cycles of nature into every corner of life. The process begins with choice. What season do you wish to capture? For spring, soft pastel hues and hand-painted flowers bloom across porcelain. Summer calls for bold yellows, sky blues, and sunbursts of red, echoing warmth and laughter. Autumn lends itself to earthy browns and fiery oranges, leaves painted across cracks as though carried by the wind. Winter whispers in white, silver, and pale blues, with snowflakes or frosty branches shimmering against the ceramic surface. Once painted, the planters are filled with plants that match the season's spirit. In spring, violets or fresh herbs sprout from pastel-painted cups. In summer, succulents thrive in bright, cheerful colors. Autumn welcomes small cacti or trailing ivy that echo the grounded richness of the season. Winter finds beauty in evergreens or even artificial accents like pine cones or holly sprigs nestled in soil. Each planter becomes a tiny echo of the season it honors. Placed together, these planters form a living calendar. On a windowsill, they remind you of cycles turning, of time flowing gently yet persistently. On a dining table, they serve as centerpieces that shift with the months, making every meal a seasonal celebration. Outdoors, they align with the natural changes around them, blending into gardens and patios as though they were always meant to be there. The deeper meaning lies in connection. Seasons remind us that life is ever-changing, that endings lead to beginnings, that growth and rest both have their place. A broken cup, reborn with seasonal art, carries that same truth. It reminds us that fragility can be part of cycles too, that renewal often comes after cracks. Guests who see them are charmed by the thoughtfulness. Cups that speak the language of time, that celebrate life's changes with color and greenery. For you, the maker, each planter is more than decoration. It is a reflection of the seasons within your own spirit, a reminder that life, like art, is ever renewing. Walls often stand silent, plain surfaces that separate spaces. Yet with imagination, even walls can bloom. The wall-hanging broken cup planter transforms chipped mugs into vertical gardens, bringing greenery where none was expected. It is the art of lifting life upward, of letting broken vessels become pockets of growth that climb and cascade like poetry on stone and wood. The process begins with careful mounting. A broken cup, once thought useless, can be attached securely to a wooden plank, a garden fence, or even an interior wall using strong adhesive, metal hooks, or brackets. The cracks and chips no longer matter. Once fixed, they are part of the design, part of what makes each planter unique. Inside, a small layer of soil and pebbles creates a bed for plants, and soon roots begin to take hold. The joy lies in the plants you choose. Trailing ivy drapes beautifully over rims, softening their jagged edges with cascades of green. Succulents add texture and form, sitting proudly in their little wall-mounted homes. Herbs like thyme, mint, or oregano thrive in sunny spots, filling the air with fragrance as you brush past. Tiny flowers like marigolds or pansies bring bursts of color, turning the wall into a living mural. The transformation is striking. A once bare wall becomes alive, a vertical garden that tells stories of renewal. Indoors, it brightens kitchens, hallways, or study corners. Outdoors, it decorates patios, balconies, and fences, turning simple surfaces into vibrant displays. The broken cups, each one different in shape and story, add charm through their mismatched variety, as though the wall itself were collecting tales. Beyond decoration, these hanging planters bring practicality. In small spaces where floors cannot hold large pots, walls become gardens. For urban homes, this is a way to weave nature into limited corners, to bring freshness without demanding space. Each cup, despite its cracks, carries a piece of life upward, reminding us that growth is not confined to the ground. Guests who see them are often surprised by their ingenuity. They smile at the playful idea of cups hanging as gardens, and many ask how they too can craft such beauty from broken things. And as you tend to them, watering gently, watching vines stretch downward, you'll feel a quiet pride. What was once forgotten porcelain now blooms as part of your wall, a daily reminder that creativity can climb, and that even in small vessels, life can reach upward. And so, our journey with broken cups finds its quiet ending here, though the story of creation never truly ends. Each planter we explored is not just a craft. It is a reminder that beauty often hides within the fragile, waiting for our hands to uncover it. When a crack becomes a canvas, when a chip turns into a garden, we discover that imperfection is not a flaw, but a doorway to imagination. At TERAFLORA Studio, we believe every broken thing still carries a song. It is a song of renewal, of patience, of life finding its way back through soil, water, and gentle care. Each planter is more than a container for plants. It is a small sanctuary for hope. And as you watch your creations bloom, may they remind you that even in your own cracks, life still grows tender and strong. This content has been lovingly crafted with the support of AI, a tool we use to shape ideas into clear and thoughtful stories. Yet behind the technology, the heart of TERAFLORA Studio is always the same: to bring warmth, inspiration, and calm to your day, one small creation at a time. If you have felt inspired, if these gentle stories have given you peace or sparked an idea in your own hands, we would be honored if you became part of this growing circle. Subscribe to TERAFLORA Studio and walk with us as we continue to turn the ordinary into something extraordinary. Until our next story, let your plants whisper their lessons, let your hands find joy in creation, and let your heart rest in the knowledge that beauty can always bloom again. From us at TERAFLORA Studio, thank you for sharing this quiet journey.